Some people walk into a room and everything shifts. They don't speak loudly, they don't ask for anything, but they get it. Attention, respect, deference. You've seen it. A man in line at the DMV. Quiet. Still. Yet everyone turns when he clears his throat. No designer clothes, no entourage. But somehow, everyone gives him space. It's not money, it's not looks, it's not IQ, it's something harder to define. But once you see it, you can't unsee it. Let's talk about that. 1. The quiet force. Machiavelli once said, "Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are." That's where real power begins. Not in appearances, not in noise, but in the space between. Power doesn't dress itself up. It doesn't wave for attention. It shows up, calm and uninvited, and shifts the entire room. There's a woman named Sandra. She owns a corner cafe in a worn-down town. Place has been there 20 years, maybe more. The coffee's decent, the bread's always warm, but that's not what people notice. They notice her. She walks in, and the place goes quiet. Not out of fear, but something else. Like people are recalibrating. Like they're aware of their posture again. She doesn't bark orders, doesn't smile too much, doesn't pretend to be friendly. She just moves from counter to kitchen and back again. Vendors don't talk back. Delivery guys don't linger. Health inspectors write fast and leave faster. No raised voice, no big speeches. Just a look, just a presence. She's not famous. She doesn't have 1 million followers. But no one forgets her. That's the quiet force. It doesn't come from trying. It comes from knowing. Knowing who you are, what you'll tolerate, what you'll never allow. It's built in silence, reinforced by restraint, and recognized, always, by the ones who matter. You don't have to dominate the space. You just have to be the reason it feels different. That's power. 2. Mystery over volume. Loud people are easy to hear, easy to spot, easy to read. That's their weakness. They think if they talk enough, they'll matter more. If they share enough, they'll be liked. They call it honesty. But most of the time, it's insecurity, dressed up as transparency. You don't need that. You don't need to tell people everything you think, everything you feel, everything you plan. Because here's the truth. Once they know what moves you, they'll learn how to move you. Praise becomes a hook. Flattery becomes a leash. A well-placed insult becomes a button they can press whenever they want a reaction. People say, "If you have nothing to hide, be open." But that's bait. You're not here to hide. You're here to hold. Hold your thoughts. Hold your space. Hold your cards. Because when people can't predict you, they can't control you. Think of the last time you met someone who made you wonder what they were thinking. Didn't it stay with you? Didn't it pull at you? That's mystery. Not the kind you fake. The kind you build by staying quiet while the world overshares. Let them guess. Let them get it wrong. Let them fill in the blanks with something bigger than you ever said out loud. Because once they can't reach all of you, they start respecting the part they never touched. And that's where real influence begins. Not in noise, but in what you never say. 3. Presence is not availability. Some people show up to everything, every meeting, every party, every room. They think being seen means being important. It doesn't. It just means they're easy to find. Easy to forget. Gold's not valuable because it's everywhere. It's valuable because it's not. Your presence should feel like that. Not constant, but exact. Sharp like a scalpel. Not scattered like glitter. There's a guy named David, works on cars in Detroit. Doesn't talk much. Doesn't check in often. Doesn't crowd the table. But when the engine won't turn over, everyone waits. Nobody touches a wrench until he looks at it. And when he does, no one interrupts. He's not a manager, not a big voice. He's just useful. And quiet. He only shows up when it counts. That's presence, that's weight. Every time you say yes to something meaningless, you make your yes worth less. Every time you show up without purpose, you become part of the noise. You don't need to vanish, you just need to value your steps. Be scarce, but not gone. Be present, but not expected. People shouldn't get used to you. They should feel you when you arrive, and wonder where you went when you're gone. That's how respect grows. Not from being everywhere, but from being in the right place, at the right time, with the right energy. The rarest things aren't loud, they're just hard to reach. And that's why they matter. 4. Power in silence. You don't have to say much. In fact, it's better if you don't. Most people talk to feel safe, to fill the space, to prove they belong. But silence? Silence does something different. Say something important. Then stop. Don't follow it with, "You know what I mean?" Don't clean it up. Let it sit there, like a weight. Let them wrestle with it. Let it echo. When someone corners you with a question, don't jump to answer. Pause. Look at them. Let the moment stretch. Not because you're unsure, because you don't rush for anyone. Silence makes people nervous. They start over-explaining. They confess things you never asked about. They try to fill the gap with something. Anything. That's pressure. Not the loud kind. The kind that breaks people open without you lifting a finger. David, the guy with the Detroit garage. He once looked at a faulty transmission for 2 minutes without saying a word. The kid next to him started listing all the wrong things he thought he'd fixed. No one asked him to talk. He just cracked. That's what silence does. It doesn't need backup. It doesn't need decoration. It just needs you to trust it long enough for everyone else to get uncomfortable. And in that discomfort, they give you everything. 5. Emotional discipline. This is where most people lose. They react. A compliment lands, and they soften. An insult cuts, and they blow up. Someone questions them, and they explain. That's not strength. That's a puppet with visible strings. Here's the thing. Your emotions aren't the problem. They're information, signals, data points, but they're not the driver's seat. Not unless you hand them the wheel. You feel them. Yes, you're supposed to, but you don't have to obey them. Your ex sends you a cold text. Don't fire back. Pause. Your boss cuts you down in front of a crowd. Don't defend. Breathe. Somebody praises you, calls you brilliant in public. Don't melt into their hands. Just nod. Let it slide off. That's not being numb. That's being deliberate. You're not a robot. You're not dead inside. But you're a strategist. And strategists know the first impulse is almost always the wrong one. Think of poker. The rookie slams his chips after a loss. The pro folds, waits, saves his stack for the right hand. One's emotional, one's disciplined. Guess who leaves with money? Life works the same. People will test you, push you, try to light you up. They want to see you spill. Because once they know what spills, they know how to use it. So you feel it, and you keep it, and you move only when it serves you. That's not cold. That's control. And control is power. 6. Strategic disappearance. People think leaving means you lost, that silence means surrender. It doesn't. Sometimes it's the sharpest move you can make. Disappearing isn't weakness. It's timing. You leave before the applause dies, before the decay starts, before they think they understand you too well. No explanation, no speech, no messy goodbye, just the kind of exit that echoes. Lena worked in Boston, team lead, sharp, quiet. She didn't bang on desks or give farewell lunches. She just walked into her boss's office one morning, handed in a resignation letter that said 3 clean lines, and walked out with her coat on. No one saw it coming. No one had time to stop her. Weeks passed, then months. They're still quoting her systems, still copying the way she ran meetings, still trying to fill her space, and getting it wrong. She didn't leave damage. She left a void. There's a difference. A mess gets cleaned up. A void gets felt long after you're gone. You don't owe people a breakdown. You don't owe them your last breath. When you're done, really done, you just leave. Sharp, clean, quiet. People remember that. Because most folks don't know how to let go without trying to win the last argument. But when you leave with nothing but self-respect, you carry the whole room with you. And long after they forget what you said, they'll still feel the space you used to fill. That's power. 7. Never reveal your full arsenal. Everyone wants to show what they've got. All their skills, all their knowledge. Lay it out like cards on a table, hoping someone claps. That's a mistake. The moment they see everything, they start planning around you. How to use you. How to beat you. How to box you in. So don't show everything. Let them see just enough. A little shine, a little sharpness. Just enough for them to think, okay, I've got this person figured out. Let them underestimate. Let them get comfortable. Then, when it matters, pull something they didn't see coming. A skill they didn't know you had. A contact they didn't know you knew. A move they never thought you'd make. Not for praise, not to prove anything, just to end the conversation. Quiet, decisive, checkmate. It's not about hiding, it's about holding. You don't show your whole hand in the first round. You don't walk into the room with all your weapons drawn. You move like there's more. Because there is. That's what keeps people guessing. That's what keeps you in control. Think of it like a storm that never quite arrives. They smell the thunder, they feel the pressure, but they can't predict the lightning. That's presence, that's strategy, and most of all, that's survival. 8. Questions over speeches. You want control? Ask questions, then stop talking. That's it. That's the whole move. Everyone else is in a rush to sound smart, to explain, to perform. You don't need to. Let them have the stage. You just ask the question that cuts through the noise. Why do you think that happened? What aren't you saying yet? What are you actually afraid of? That's where the truth lives, not in speeches, in the pause that follows the right question. And here's the beauty of it. They'll think they led the conversation. They'll feel heard, understood, opened up, but they won't realize they did most of the talking. And you? You walked away with the map. 5 good questions will give you more than 500 carefully chosen words. Because when someone explains, they're showing you what they rehearsed. When they respond to a question they didn't expect, they show you what's real. It's not magic, it's patience. The more they talk, the more you see what drives them, what rattles them, what they're trying to protect. And all you had to do was ask and listen, not to reply, not to correct, just to gather. Words can impress, but questions, they strip everything bare. So don't try to win the room, just learn how to read it. 9. Predictable is beatable. If they can guess your next move, they can plan for it, stack the deck, box you in, own the game before it starts. That's how people get beat. Not by power, but by pattern. So you stay grounded in what matters. Your values? Solid. But your methods? Fluid. Sometimes you speak right away. Other times you take your time. Sometimes you're warm. A smile, a nod. Other times, cool. Professional. Bare. Never rude. But never predictable. Let them guess. Let them wait. Let them start to wonder. What kind of day is this? That edge, the one they can't define, that's what makes them respect you. Not fear, not love, but respect. Because when they don't know what wins you, they stop coasting. They show up better. Straighter. Sharper. You don't have to be a mystery, just don't be a routine. Predictable people get managed, measured, replaced. But the ones you can't quite figure out, they get space, they get caution, they get the benefit of the doubt. You want that space. You want that leverage. Because when someone doesn't know where they stand with you, they pay closer attention. They stop playing games. They work to earn something real. That's not manipulation. That's strategy. Stay consistent in who you are. Just never become so easy they stop respecting the effort it takes to reach you. 10. Final blueprint. This isn't about becoming someone else. It's about becoming sharper at being you. No acting, no posing, just less noise, more signal. You stop chasing approval. You stop explaining things no one earned the right to question. You stop reacting just because someone poked. You do less. But everything you do means more. You pause before you speak. You wait before you move. You ask instead of declare. You're not avoiding life. You're approaching it like a chessboard, not a street fight. Your availability becomes rare. Your presence, measured. Your voice, intentional. And the moment you stop flooding the room with effort, you start to shape it. Not through volume, but through gravity. They'll say you're distant. They'll say you've changed. They'll call you cold. Let them. Cold things hold their shape. Cold things don't burn out. Cold things last. You're not here to entertain. You're not here to defend your every decision. You don't explain. You don't correct. You don't argue with noise. You move like someone who knows what matters, knows what they bring, knows that presence is a choice, not an accident. You enter when it's time. You leave before you're taken for granted. You speak when silence has done enough. That's the shift, from needing attention to becoming the reason the room gets quiet, from proving something to being something. That's how it ends, with less effort and more effect. Closing. You're not here to make noise. You're here to carry weight. You don't need a spotlight. You don't need a microphone. You just need presence, the kind that speaks before you do. They'll try to pull you into their show, their rush to be seen, their race to be heard. But you don't run that race. You're built different. You don't chase the room, you shape it. Without asking. Without warning. Without saying a word more than you need to. The most dangerous man in any room isn't the one pounding the table. It's the one sitting still, watching, waiting. While they talk over each other, you're gathering. While they're proving themselves, you're positioning yourself. While they're trying to matter, you're becoming the center of gravity. Quiet, anchored, clear. You don't need to announce your strength. You just need to carry it like you've had it all along. There's a silence some people bring with them. Not empty, heavy. It turns heads, raises tension, demands respect. That's you now, not chasing power, just walking like it's already yours. So go. Say less. Mean more. Let them wonder. Be the one they forget to watch until it's too late. Be unreadable. Be steady. Be unforgettable.